traveling for a couple weeks. And while I was traveling, as our bodies age, we notice different things, and I really noticed the effects of traveling a lot more this time than I had in the past. And so I worked with a sequence to kind of like rebalance all the places that had aches and pains and stress collecting in them. And I don't think that the experience of traveling on the body is all that much different than how we sit and how we are restricted and how we're kind of contained to these linear movements, most of our everyday lives. I just think when we're traveling, it gets concentrated. So I really was able to like feel it that much more and experience it that much more. These places of stress and tension like up through my neck and pain in my low back. And so, I want to share this sequence with you because I think that, yes, it's a great sequence if you're traveling and you find yourself on a long overnight flight or in a lot of a long car ride or whatever it is. I mean, especially over the holidays, that can be really valuable. But I actually think the movements are things that will help ease some of the habitual stress and tension that we just have in our bodies day to day. Maybe we don't notice it as much as we notice when we have been on a long flight, but oftentimes when we start to dig in, it's still there. So anyways, a lot of like chest opening, a lot of really constructive and supported back bending. So I hope you enjoy it. We're just going to start seated. So if you find it most comfortable to sit up onto a block or something, you're welcome to, but just sit and find a way that you can get length all the way from your tailbone up to the crown of your head. And close your eyes. And it doesn't have to be, any more orchestrated than this. Just find a nice long spine. You don't have to do anything with the breath yet. Just spend the first few moments here relaxing back into yourself. So what I mean by that is, yes, relaxing the body, but also relaxing that part of ourselves that's kind of on, that's doing, that's planning, that's organizing and analyzing. I want you to relax back beyond that, and I want you to relax back into that part of yourself that's just pure awareness. The kind of watcher behind it all. And so bring this simple awareness into this body of yours. And you might feel as though this simple awareness is just scanning throughout the body. Simple awareness might notice certain sensations, certain feelings. Maybe not just even physical sensations, but maybe noticing a quality of energy. Maybe there's a restlessness or a joy or a fatigue, right? Anything. Notice what is happening. What have you brought in this body of yours to your mat in this moment? And there doesn't have to be any conclusions about it. You don't have to make any judgments about it. Just notice. For now, just notice. And then start to draw in a deep inhale. So you bring your inhale all the way down to the very bottom of your lungs. And if you could imagine that the bottom of your rib cage is like the bottom of an umbrella. So you want to take a breath in. We wouldn't want the umbrella just to cover us in front, right? So you want the umbrella to expand out in all directions. Feel the side ribs expand out as you inhale. Feel the back ribs expand out as you inhale. There's this 360-degree expansion on each breath in. And again, notice, right? So eyes are closed. Your attention is directed inwards. Just Notice as you start to take these bigger and deeper breaths what you feel. What is the experience that goes along with this bigger, deeper breath? And then maybe you keep your eyes closed for this. You can open your eyes if you need to figure out what we're doing. But on the inhale, lift your chest, lift the chin, draw the arms back. So there's a kind of drawing forward. This is essentially cow pose, but from seated, right? And then exhale, round the back, the arms might come forward. The shoulders are really what's being brought forward, right? This is cat pose from seated. Inhale to open, and exhale to round. Inhale to open, exhale to round, right? And let yourself do this a few more times with the eyes closed, right? So if you opened your eyes, now close them back down. So your attention is still directed inwards, and this movement is not just movement and then, oh, we remember to breathe, right? But this movement is directed by the breath, right? So my inhale is so big that I just have to open my chest and lift it up. And the exhale is so complete that the body rounds in around itself to push every last bit of breath out. Inhaling to open, right? And exhaling to round. And just a few more times. And some of you, if you want to start to move in different directions, or you can start to roll the rib cage, you can explore into different movements with the body. You can even take the arms, right, up and around, right? But let there be breath in the process. So as we start to open up different spaces in the body, we're not going to leave them kind of starved and depleted. We're going to send the breath into those spaces to light up, right, to nourish as we open the tissues, as we lengthen. Okay? And now let's come to hands and knees, and we'll just take a couple of these same movements or similar movements, right? So cat-cow, following your breath. And maybe you explore in different ways. But just the change of our relationship to the ground might make these similar movements feel very different than they did from seated, right? They may give you access to different parts of the body. So play around a bit. And let this be completely yours, right? There's no way it should look like the way I'm moving. I'm just sort of wiggling anyways. But you want to find what you need, right? This is about you really landing into that awareness that we brought in, and now listening to that awareness and responding and giving your body the movements that you crave. Right? It should look, if we could see everyone doing this all together, everyone's movement should look different. So we're going to come back into down dog and give yourself a couple breaths to just play around in this down dog and to maybe move around a little bit more. And I like to really feel into the roundness of the joints, right? So we can get into linear patterns of movement, and we can sit in these chairs for a long time on airplanes, in cars, at our desks, right? But the joints, the major joints in the body, the shoulders and the hips, they're round joints. So start to give yourself that kind of round movement back, right? The full range of motion into each joint. So you might wiggle the hips. And then we're going to come to down dog, sort of a regular old down dog. And then take your right leg high and lift the right leg up from the pit of the belly, from the strength of the belly. And then bend your knee and roll your hip open. And reach, imagine that you could reach that right foot towards the side wall, right? And feel this rinsing open that's not just about the right hip peeling back, but the right side of the rib cage peels back too. Right? And in case you're starting to sink a little too much of the effort into your wrists, press down into the knuckles of the fingers. Spread the fingers wide and plug down into the knuckles of the fingers and broaden the chest some. And take one more breath here. And then we'll lower it down. And we'll take the other side. So left leg high. Bend your knee and roll your hip open. Right? And I like to send the breath into the side body. So these places in the body that we open up, we can kind of let them be a desert or we can send the breath right in there and nourish. Let the places we're opening up flourish with the breath. Take a big inhale, and then come on back, down dog. Right, so inhale, come forward to a high plank, and exhale, press back to down dog. Inhale, forward, high plank. So we're just warming up the shoulders a little bit more specifically, and then press back to down dog. And inhale, forward to high plank. Now draw your heart forward. And at the same time, soften the heart towards the mat a little bit. Soften the heart towards the mat. Draw your shoulder blades onto your back. I want you to draw your heart forward, which doesn't mean chin forward necessarily. In fact, you want to look down between your thumbs. Keep the back of the neck long, but draw your heart forward and then draw your heels back. Now we're really going to fire up the breath, right? For 5, 4, 3, and 2. Hollow out the belly, hug the belly up. Last breath here, and press back to down dog. And so there should be a little bit of sweat. There should be some heat built at that point, I hope. We'll come forward to high plank again. Find that length in your high plank. And now we're going to lower either halfway down or all the way down. And either cobra or upward facing dog. And linger a moment, savor it a moment. First, and a big back bend here. And then press back, down dog. And take a big inhale. Exhale it out. Okay? And it's always okay to, in my practice at least, to open your mouth and really clear things out. It doesn't have to be that closed mouth, restricted breath. There's a lot of heat in our exhales. You know, the ujjayi breath that we're working with has this fiery quality to it. Sometimes we describe ujjayi breath as like the quality of like fogging a mirror in front of your lips. But oftentimes the direction is to close the lips. But if we're really getting that fiery, open the mouth and let it out. There's still that heat. Bend your knees, look forward, walk or jump to the front of your mat. Now inhale to a flat back, which is not just like a add-on. I want you to really draw your heart forward and lengthen your spine. And then exhale, fold in. And so inhale, I like to have the feet apart a bit. We're gonna come all the way up to standing with soft knees. Reach up and reach back. And then stay. And on your exhale, get soft. And on the inhale, reach up, press down through the feet, reach up a little bit more. And then on your exhale, get soft. And then one more inhale, open up, reach up, peel the heart open. Exhale, bow down, let it all go. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, down dog, press back. Inhale, come forward to high plank. So the breath is important here. Exhale as you lower. Inhale as you lift your heart. Exhale as you press back. Big breath in. Exhale it out. Breath in. And breath out. Big breath in. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, walk or jump. Inhale, flat back, heart forward. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, come all the way up, reach back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a long spine. Exhale, press back, down dog. Follow your inhale forward. Exhale as you lower. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, press back, down dog. Big breath in. Exhale it out. Inhale. Exhale. Big breath in. Exhale, bend your knees, walk or jump. Inhale, flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift your heart. And exhale, press back. Take a big breath in. exhale it out, right? And keep breathing. So I'm going to give you a variation for the sun salutation A's that you can opt into or as anything, or you can opt out. But it helps to bring a more balanced strength into the upper body. So our muscles are grouped in pairs, and oftentimes we favor one side of that muscular pair than the other. It's usually a little easier to access. We may favor the biceps at, say, the expense of the triceps. And although the Vinyasa flow does a really good job of balancing out these movements and these strengths, and it takes the joints through their full range of motion in a really beautiful way, it does tend to favor one side of the upper body strength. So if you have any sort of shoulder concerns, then, by all means, or if you're lowering your knees all the way down and you're modifying, stick with that. But if you want to kick up the strength, kick up the heat a little bit, we'll come to down dog. And we'll inhale forward to high plank. Right? This also takes a little breath control. We're going to exhale to lower. Right? Inhale, lift your chest. And then we're going to go back on the exhale to low plank. So you've got to hug the belly up and in. And now push back to down dog. Right? Big breath in. Exhale out. Right? So for me, so that I can get that knitting in at the front of the core that I need to get myself back, right? I spend my exhale on getting from up dog to low plank. And then it's a retention. Everything's hugging in, everything's top belly to the spine because I've exhaled everything out, and I push back to down dog from there. So you may want to play with your experience of the breath on that, but that's what works for me. So it's once more, inhale, high plank, exhale to lower, inhale, I lift up, exhale, low plank, and push back, down dog. Now a big inhale, because I deserve it. After that, exhale and breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Big breath in. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, walk or jump. Inhale, flat back. Exhale to fold. So we'll go through this one more time. Inhale, reach up, and any way you like, right? You make this your own. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift your heart. Maybe low plank, right? Maybe not. Press back, down dog, right? And stay there and breathe. So the sun salutation A's especially, I think of them as like a haiku poem, right? So there's, in a haiku poem, there's a set amount of syllables for each line. And it almost sounds like that could be restricted, but within that, there's infinite possibilities for expression. And the sun A's, the vinyasas are like that, right? So we have the form, but then you bring you through the form, right? You modify any way you need to. You go at the speed that you need to. You adapt as you need to. And it may be different. It might even, it probably should be different day to day on our mats, so that we're not coming in and just going through the motions, right? But you're really living out this expression of your vinyasa each time you come to mat, and it's prescriptive, right? You feel what your body needs in this moment, and you adapt accordingly. Okay? So from down dog, let's bend the knees. We'll come forward, walk or jump to the front of the mat. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold. This time we're going to bend our knees, and we're going to reach up into Utkatasana after fixing our pants, whatever you need to do. We'll reach up into Utkatasana. Now for this first Utkatasana, I want you to hook your thumbs, right, and feel like you're trying to pull your arms away from one another. So hook your thumbs and draw the arms away from one another so you feel this isometric engagement through the arms and through the upper back, right? And then from there, get a little movement, right? So start to take the shoulders in circles. The hips might go too, that's fine, right? And start to feel, you might even just spend some time lifting and lowering the shoulder blades. So I want you to feel the muscles at the upper back start to light up, start to wake up, right? So I think of, these parts of the practice, if you've looked at a city from a distance at dusk,
and you start to see all the lights like popping up, right? Flashing on. I want you to start to feel in all these different muscles of the upper back, all the lights turning on, one by one, turning on, right? And so feel that light up, and then once you have this kind of awakeness in the upper back, then you can let the arms go, but you hold a certain energy between the arms still. So there's still this vibrancy, right? And sit your hips low and lift your chest. And now fiery breath. And I want you to feel that you're not just using your low back here. We rely on that a lot. Instead, I want you to drop your tailbone down, hollow out the belly, and feel just as much support here as you feel here. And in fact, feel all the muscles wrapping around the waist. So this, you don't need a back brace for your whole life. You have one. You just build up this back brace that you already have. Feel all of these muscles knitting in, hugging in, and with this support, you can get this big, huge breath in the rib cage. So breathe big for 3, and 2, and take a big breath in, let it be fiery, and then exhale, bow down. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, you can step or jump back to low plank. Inhale, up dog. Maybe you take that addition, maybe not, through low plank. Step your right foot forward, warrior 1. We're gonna come up, right? Again, I want you to hook your thumbs. So the feet plant down. You have 2 anchor points there. And then your other anchor point is up at the thumbs. Try to pull the arms away from one another. Between these anchor points, start to play a little bit. Move the hips. And then I want you to find, as you move around, as you feel into your body, I want you to find the alignment that gives you both the most strength, the most access to your strength, and the most space, right? So you're engaged, you're awake, you're alive, right? But the body also feels freedom. It's not compressed and restricted in the low back, right? We're not blown out through the front of the body. There's a hugging in from these anchor points. There's an engagement, but that allows us to get this extension, this space, this openness. Take a big inhale here. And we're going to open it up to warrior 2, okay? Just for a breath. And then flip your front palm, reverse your warrior, lean back, put a little more weight in the front foot, and then windmill, hands to the mat. Vinyasa through high plank, low, up dog, maybe low, down dog. Left foot forward, warrior 1, come up, okay? Bring it alive, press down through the feet, anchor the thumbs, move a bit, and breathe. Move your shoulders, move your hips, right? We can move the limbs, we've got that. What we've started to close in on is we've lost, right, for the most of us, through our daily patterns of movement, habitual patterns, we've lost the movement in the trunk of the body. We've lost the ability for the shoulder blades to glide freely in all 6 directions that the shoulder blades are designed to move in. We've lost some mobility maybe in the low back. Maybe we've lost some mobility around the hips. So it's not about just taking the legs apart, lifting your arms up. You got that. But find the movement, find the support, find the space in the trunk of the body. Find the engagement in the trunk of the body. Take a big breath in. And then open up to warrior 2. Then flip your front palm. And reach back. Inhale. Deep bend in the front knee. And we'll windmill through. Hands to the mat. And lower. And lift. And maybe lower again before you press back. Big inhale. Exhale it out. So some nice big deep breaths here, where it feels like kind of like downward dog's coming home. So we're not just waiting, right, for downward dog to be over for the next pose. We're not just letting time pass, but you're in your down dog. You're feeling the sensations. You might be moving around and playing around a bit. Down dog is like coming home every single time. Let your heart open, draw your chest towards your thighs. And even though it's kind of a weird cue, you might not hear this in everyday life very often, but broaden your armpits. It's a very yoga specific cue, but broaden, kind of like widen out the armpits, melt your chest back towards your thighs, and bend your knees, look forward, walk or jump. Inhale, flat back, exhale, fold. So one breath, one movement now, but no rush. Utkatasana, inhale. You don't have to go at the same pace as me, but do follow your breath. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale to low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale to press back, down dog. Right foot forward, warrior one. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, reach out. Inhale, reach back. Exhale to the mat. High plank to lower. Lift your heart and press back. Left foot forward, warrior one. Open up, warrior two. Reverse your warrior, reach back on the inhale, and then exhale to the mat and flow through. High plank to low. Lift your chest. Lower maybe as you press back to down dog. Big breath in. Exhale it out. Inhale. Exhale. Take a big breath in. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, walk or jump. Inhale, flat back. Exhale to fold. One more. Utkatasana, reach up. Exhale, bow. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, low plank. Woo. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Right foot forward, warrior one. Inhale, rise up, bring life to it. Exhale, reach out, get expansive. Inhale, go back. Exhale to the mat. High plank to low. Lift your heart and press back. Left foot forward, warrior one. Inhale up. Exhale out. Inhale, go back. Exhale to the mat. High plank to low. Lift up and press back. Big breath in. Open your mouth, clear it out. Maybe shake your head out. Do let your head hang here. Let the head be heavy. Let it hang. We're going to step the feet together and we're going to take our right leg high. Bend your knee and roll your hip open, just like we did at the very beginning of the practice. But this time, maybe you stay here. Right? There's a lot to be felt and opened and experienced here. Maybe you flip your dog. Right foot comes down. Lift your hips up. Now if you flip your dog, I want you to take your right hand to the back of your skull. I want you to drop your head back into your hand. And then I want you to lift up through the back of the heart even more. Open the chest, open your throat, and breathe. Press down into your feet. Lift up at the back of the heart for 3 and 2 and 1. Come on back, down dog. Take the left leg high. Bend your knee, roll your hip open. Then you might stay here and you might flip. And if you flip, left hand to the back of the head, drop your head back into your hand. Let it feel good. Open up. Feel this peeling open. Breathe. Huge, full breaths. Lift the hips up to help support the opening of the heart. For 3 and 2 and 1. Come on back. Down dog. Oof, that should feel really good. Take a big inhale. Exhale it out. Bend your knees. Look forward. Walk or jump. Inhale, flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale for just a little another hit of length in the spine, and then exhale to twist to the right. Right? So find a nice long backbone. So the heels are sinking, yes, but the hips are drawing to the back of the room. The The heart and the crown of the head are drawing towards the front of the room. And you lengthen around this nice long backbone. Maybe you open your arms. Right? You could open your arms if you want. If some of you have a side crow, you can come into it from here. I would suggest that you take knees together in this side crow because we'll have a variation for legs apart later. Okay. And then if you come into a variation, take one more breath and then meet us back in the twist. Take one more inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Separate your feet. Grab your big toes. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold in. Padangusthasana. Let your head drop down and maybe even shake your head out a little bit. Right? And don't forego the breath here. So let there be nice, big, deep breaths. Right? This is usually the point at which I'm like, ooh, did I really need to have the heat on so high? Because you've hopefully started building up some of your own heat, maybe a lot of your own heat at this point. So, you don't want to miss this opportunity in this forward fold because it really is like, it's kind of like a pit stop, in a race, right? Where they pull the car aside and everyone comes out and they work on the car, right? And they fix the wheels and they, fill the gas and whatever, and it's ready for the next leg of the journey, right? So this is your kind of pit stop. Get the nourishment, get the breath, get the grounding you need here. Take one more big inhale. And then exhale, release. Feet can come together or towards one another as you prefer for your Utkatasana. Come on up. Hands to your heart. Take a breath to get another inhale and lengthen the spine. And then exhale, twist. Right? Over to the left and breathe. So any variation you want, right? Wherever you want to take this. Try to squeeze the thighs together so the twist isn't in the hips, right? The knees don't go offline, but instead the twist is all along the backbone, the hips stay even. And breathe for 3 more. And 2. And 1. Forward fold. Separate your feet. Padahastasana. So these are your hastas, these are your padas. Padahastasana puts the hands under the feet. You stand onto your palms and the toes touch the crease of your wrists. Inhale to a flat back for a little more length, maybe wiggle it out, and then exhale, fold in. Let especially the backs of the shoulders melt. And you might gently bring your hips up over your heels a bit more. You might press down with the balls of the feet down into the palms. And I think it's lovely to just stay here. If you have a crow practice, this is a good place to do crow. So plant your hands down. You can bring the shins to the backs of the arms, and you can come up into crow if you want to take crow into tripod. You're welcome to. And eventually we'll just meet back in that forward fold. Because everyone, especially if you just did tripod, you want to give your neck a chance to release. And then we'll let go of the hands from underneath the feet. You can rearrange your feet however you might want them. I like them hip width distance here. Keep the knees soft. Come all the way up. Reach up, reach back. Exhale, bow all the way down. Inhale to a flat back. We'll just step back to down dog. Inhale, forward, high plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, press back. Let's take the right leg high on an inhale. Exhale, draw your knee into your nose, round your back. Right? So again, like cat-cow. Inhale, this is cow pose, there's somewhat of a back bend. Exhale, round cat pose. Inhale up. Exhale in and let the breath be really dominant. This is like CPR for the whole body. Inhale up. You're pumping the breath in and out. Inhale up. Exhale in. Inhale up. Exhale in. Inhale up. Use the same muscles, drawing the knee forward. Hug the belly up and in, but plant the right foot. Crescent lunge, and come on up. Right, so, we're going to take this in a moment into a little bit of a back bend, right? But if the hips are offline, so if we're just trying to go for this big long stance, and the left hip's way back and the right hip's forward, as soon as we start to go back, we're going to tweak into the low back, especially one side. So I want you to find balance in the hips, right? So left hip and right hip are on the same plane. I want you to find a way that the point of this is to drop your tailbone down. And oftentimes that means bending the back knee. I love bending the back knee in this pose. It's not a less than modification for most of us. It gives us a whole lot more, which is more space in the low back where you want it. Right? So feel free to bend your back knee. No problem, it's a great thing to do. So you want this engagement in the lower body. The bending of the back knee also actually helps with that because you can't just stay in a locked out joint. There has to be a muscularity, right? So feel that hugging in through the lower body. We're gonna reach the arms up. And then from here, interlace your hands at the back of your head. And I want you to just pull up. I want you to give yourself an assist. So you're gonna pull up on the back of your own head, like you're drawing your head up off your shoulders. I want you to feel that length, that beautiful length. The back of the neck, the back of the skull is lifting. And then, keeping the hips even, keeping the legs engaged, drop your head back into your hands. But you're not dropping your head back towards your tailbone. It's as though you keep lengthening away. As you open the chest, lift your rib cage up. Open your heart. It doesn't need to be extreme to be this beautiful, continuous opening back bend that's strong and supported and actually accessing the places we need it the most. Drop the shoulders back, drop the elbows back, but keep pulling up at the back of the head. Take a big breath in, and then come up. Crescent lunge. Hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Right? So this is what I was saying before. If you guys have that variation of side crow and you want to take the open leg side crow, this is your shot. Right? So from here you can open up as you like. And if you have a fallen angel you want to come into, you can take that as well. If you just want to take it easy like I do, you can scale it back to wherever it's most comfortable. It's a lot, talking and doing poses at the same time, it's a lot. Take a big breath in, come up and around, warrior two. So from here, reach forward with the right ribs, and we're gonna bring the right forearm to the right thigh, ever so lightly. So we're not plopping in, right, but there's just kind of a presence of the forearm on the thigh. And then reach your left arm overhead, right? The thighs are hugging in, there's a strength in the lower body. And then we're going to take the left hand to the back of the head. Drop your head back into your hand. I want you to drop your shoulders back. Lean back into this. Drop your head back. Feel the whole left side of the body light up. And breathe. Feel that beautiful space across your chest. Breathe for 3. And 2. And take a big breath in, and then hands to the mat. Woo. Move through. High plank, low plank, up dog, and down dog. Inhale, and exhale. And of course, you can still be adding in those low planks after the up dog. I will not be, but you can. Take the left leg high, inhale. Exhale, knee to your nose. Inhale up. Exhale in. Inhale up. Exhale in. Inhale up. Exhale in. Inhale up. Exhale in. Inhale up. Left foot between your hands. Crescent lunge. Come on up. Square the hips, right? So there can be a little less hoopla around getting into this because you know where you're going. So square the hips, find the strength in the legs. Reach up, interlace the hands behind the head, lift up, and then drop the head back. And feel the chest rise for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reach up, hands to your heart, and twist. And breathe. 5, any variation you want. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come up and around, warrior 2. Flip your front palm, reverse, oh no, scratch that. Left forearm to your left thigh. We're gonna lean the left ribs forward. And then draw the right arm overhead and then right hand to the back of your head. See, autopilot creeps in. Keep an aliveness in the body. And so, these small variations can change everything. It doesn't need to be a crazy complicated pose. You don't need to push the limits in these extreme ways. It's just about staying awake and alive in this whole experience. So just the hand behind the head and dropping the head back into the palm can open up a whole new awareness in this side angle lunge. Take a big breath in and then hands to the mat. And flow through your vinyasa, high plank to low, up dog and down dog. Right, big inhale, exhale it out. Right, after that, all that energy exerted, everything stirred up, we're going to gather ourselves in a little balancing, just simple balancing. Bend your knees, look forward, walk or jump. Inhale, flat back. Exhale to fold, just come up to stand. Reach up, and then take tree pose. Hands to your heart. Right foot in. Any variation you want. But let everything kind of come home. So you want to center in, let everything ground in, center in, and it's not stagnant, right? It's not just like waiting, but even though there's not a lot of movement in the pose, there's all these things happening on the inside, all this growth, all this change. So you continually feel this rooting down through the left leg. And you feel like you can keep spreading out the bones of the feet or the foot to grow your root system down to the ground. And then feel like there's this hugging up all through the left leg, and this hugging up all around the bone, and you feel the bones align so that the tailbone can drop down. And this shape of the pelvis that we have now, it allows you this beautiful, tremendous length all the way up your backbone, all the way up through the crown of the head. Take a big breath in, and then exhale, and let it go, and let's take the other side. If you want to shake out your leg, you can. And then we'll take the other left foot in. And so it's stillness, but it's not like checked outness, right? It's stillness with this tremendous, like, quiet ferocity. Right? So you're absolutely awake and alive and vital. And you can feel that vitality just coursing through your veins. And breathe. Any variation you might want. It doesn't even have to be the same on the other side. And release. I'll take one more standing back bend. Let it feel really good to just reach up into the length your body can offer, and then flow down. Flat back and down dog. High plank to low. Lift your heart And maybe low plank as we press back. Inhale forward to high plank. Exhale back to down dog. Inhale forward to high plank. Exhale back to down dog. Inhale forward to high plank. Now exhale to low plank. Inhale to high plank. Exhale to low plank. Inhale to high plank. Exhale to low plank. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to low plank. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to low plank. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to down dog. Inhale, high plank. Now you get to lower all the way down. And just rest your cheek on the mat. And let everything get soft and relaxed and at ease. Especially melt across the backs of your shoulders. And again, that kind of pit stop idea where you want to give yourself the fuel you need, because it's not over yet. So you want to give yourself the fuel you need to go on. And that fuel, if it wasn't obvious, is your breath. Right? So give yourself the breath. And then bring your chin or your forehead down to the mat. And I want you to actually interlace your hands behind your head first. And then before we lift up into anything, so your chin is down and your hands are interlaced behind your head, your elbows are wide. But before we lift up, I want you to lift the low belly up. I want you to take those belly muscles, knit them together, and hug them up to the spine. So that wherever we go from here, you have this strong support system through the mid-body, so we're not going to compromise the low back. Now keep that lift up at the low belly. Lift the elbows up, float the elbows up. Feel the muscles at the back of the body engage. Lift your chest up. Keep the belly lifting up. Maybe lift your thighs too. Keep the elbows lifting, the chest lifting. Press your head into the back of your palms. Keep the belly hugging up, thighs up, and breathe for 3. And 2. And 1. Lower down. Breath in. And sigh out. And now interlace the hands at your low back. And again, first things first, hug the belly up and in. So we're not going anywhere without the support of the low belly. And then chin or forehead to the mat. Lift your chest, peel the shoulders back. Maybe the hands lift up off the low back. Maybe the thighs lift up, but the belly's still hugging up and in. So you're lifting and lengthening. It's not just about how high you can go. It's not a game of extremes. Breathe for 3. And 2. Lift your heart and lower down. And you should turn your cheek to the other side. I'm not, so that you can hear me. But you should balance out. Cheek to one side and then the other. And then chin or forehead down to the mat. So you could either do locust again, you could do that same pose again, or bow pose. We're gonna reach back for the tops of your feet, your ankles. But this should not be news at this point. You're gonna hug the belly up and in again. So we're gonna keep that support through the mid-body, even as we back bend. So a back bend isn't just how extreme can I go? It's not a blowout, right? It's a sustaining and a supporting of a strong and healthy spine. And that strong and healthy relationship down into the pelvis and the low back. So lift up, hug the belly, and breathe for 5, 4, 3. Feel the navel hug up, lift it up towards your breastbone. Lift your breastbone up towards your chin. Take one more breath in to kick the legs back and lower down. Now bring your hands down underneath your shoulders. Press up to hands and knees. And just take a few movements through really like gentle, slow cat-cows. So you just kind of wag your tail and let the spine move along with the movement of the pelvis. And then we're gonna pause in cat pose, so rounding the back. You might even come up onto the tips of your fingers. And stay here. Now breathe, don't hold your breath, but stay and broaden the back body, right? Let the shoulder blades move away from one another. Let the mid-back get broad. Feel even the back of the pelvis broaden. Hollow out the front of the belly. If you could like shield the space underneath you, you're gonna shield as much space as possible. Right? Broaden the back body, round the back body, one more breath. And then we'll walk our hands back up the thighs. Take your arms up. You can curl the toes under if you want. This is Ustrasana variation, so I don't want you to go back into what you might think of as camel pose. This is going to be specifically more focused on the thoracic spine, which is where you need it more than you need this big bend in the low back, which you already probably have quite a bit of access to. So we're going to reach the arms up, whether the feet are flat or toes curled under, up to you. Drop your tailbone down, hug the belly up, hollow out the belly. Take the elbows out to either side. I want you to just drop the elbows back, lift the chest. Drop the palms back, drop the elbows back, lift the chest. Feel a rising up at the back of your heart. Now keep the hips forward, keep the tailbone down. You're trying to create more space between the back of your heart and the tailbone. Breathe. Peel the shoulders back, elbows back for 3. Open your mouth, open your throat, breathe 2. One more big breath in, peel open, reach open. Now come up. Hands down, knees stay bent, downward dog. And then sway your hips side to side and draw the tailbone up more so you get this nice length in the low back. And maybe straighten your legs then. We'll take a big breath in, lifting the right leg high, and then draw the right knee into your nose. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, right knee to left elbow. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, left knee outside, or right knee outside, right elbow. Inhale, up. Right knee forward, half pigeon or resting animal. I'm not a fan of the half pigeon where the shin is parallel to the front of the mat. I suppose what I do is called sleeping swan in some circles. I like the heel tucked into the pubic bone. It's gentler on the knee joint. But find what you need. Give yourself the support you need, whether it's under the hips or under where you're going to put your head, because I want you to be able to lay yourself down and not have a whole lot of like agitation and holding yourself up. So give yourself whatever support you need, right? Don't cut corners on the support. And then lay yourself down into this and close your eyes. And breathe. And see if you can even start to slow the breath down so that you can give yourself like a count of 4 on each inhale and each exhale. Melt especially across the backs of your shoulders and the muscles of your neck, and soften your jaw. And take one more big breath in, and then open your mouth and clear it out. And we're going to start to just lift the chest. And bring the back leg around, so the left leg around until the left foot comes all the way to the outside of the right thigh. So we're seated with the left knee up. And we're going to take, let me think about this, the left hand back behind us. reach your right arm high. And you actually want to reach up. Like reach up, get length, and then exhale to twist. So you're looking back over your left shoulder. And then draw the length, close your eyes and draw the length up your spine. Right? So you're not just twisting into the place where it's easiest for the twist to go, but there's this lengthening and there's like a continuity of the twist all the way from the base of your spine all the way up to the crown of your head. And you remember when we dropped our head back into our hands in various poses? Well, you might need to get that feeling again. So you might need to draw your shoulder blades back a bit till they line up with the back of your pelvis. And you might need to draw the back of your head back until that lines up with the same plane as your shoulder blades and the back of your pelvis. Okay? And then one more breath here. And then come around and take just a little counter pose to the other side. Nothing fancy, but just kind of balancing out. We're going to plant the hands down, lift the hips, and we step back to down dog. And take your left leg high on an inhale. Exhale, knee to your nose. Left leg high. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale up. Exhale, left knee outside left elbow. Inhale up. Left knee forward, half pigeon, sleeping swan, whatever. Resting animal. Resting animal is both knees bent, sitting fully onto the left hip, the front hip, and then rounding your head towards the front big toe, which is a really nice variation if you have any knee trouble or hip trouble. It's less torque, but it gets into the same soft tissue stretch as the other variations. Even gets into the low back and the psoas a little bit more. It's nice. So lay yourself down, nice deep breaths. And maybe this time it's an inhale of 4 and an exhale of 6, right? So you start to give some more emphasis to the exhale, because this is the time where they're kind of like downshifting into letting go, downshifting into release. Just a few more breaths. Soften anything else you can. Just scan the body quickly, like you cast your awareness along the body like a beam of light, and just soften everything that beam of light, that beam of awareness touches. And then take a big breath in. Exhale it out. And start to come up. I'm going to bring the back leg around. Right foot to the outside of the left thigh. Right hand back behind you. Left arm, reach it up. Feel the length. And then twist. And close your eyes. And as though you were the architect of your own backbone, right? Because you are. And as though your backbone were this spiral staircase. Build the backbone, build the spiral up from the base to the very top floor, to the very crown of the head. You wouldn't want 5 spirals and
the first floor and 2 spirals on the second floor and 1 spiral on the last floor. You want that even spiraling from bottom all the way to top. Open your chest. So use that muscularity that we've woken up at the back of the shoulders. That's where the work is, so that the chest can be open. Take a breath in, and then come on back. And turn to the other side and a little counter pose. And then we just turn to front, and now we get to just lay back. So lay back and pause for a moment. Arms down alongside you, feet flat, knees bent. I want you to just really lay your head back. Like, let your head be heavy down on the mat. Let the shoulder blades be heavy down on the mat, so that all the muscles of the upper back and all the muscles of the neck can just soften. They're just totally off the hook. And press down into your feet now. Lift your hips up for bridge pose. Maybe hands clasp underneath, but let this be an expression of openness at the front of the body, and feel especially this lift at the back of your heart. Feel the chest rise and open and breathe. And we don't have to get too agitated here. It doesn't have to be too dramatic. Right? You just want to feel this beautiful openness. In many ways, we've worked the body, come on down, we've worked the body like to get to this point where we're so soft and supple and awake and alive. So we're going to take either a bridge pose or wheel or full back bend. But it doesn't have to be that kind of wheels that sometimes happens where it's like angry breathing and frantic and everyone gets stirred up. I want you to just lift up, and yes, be expressive, be big, be open, lift your heart especially, but let it be full of breath, right? So press down, lift up, and breathe big for 5. Even open your mouth. 4. Let it be spacious. 3. Let it feel good, right? Novel idea sometimes. Let it feel good. Open up even more. Last breath. And then come on down. And then bring your knees in together to touch. So first we want to open up the back of the pelvis. Knees touch, feet go wide. Knob knee to pose. One hand to your low belly, one hand to your chest. Close your eyes. Feel the breath rise up each palm. Feet together, knees apart, Supta Baddha Konasana. Take your arms up overhead. Still feel the breath rise up into each palm, or where each palm was. So feel the breath rise up into the low belly and into the space of the heart. And start to feel like you can ease into the weight of your bones, right? You don't have to kind of combat against the weight of your bones. You don't have to hold yourself up so much. You can just kind of ease into that natural dropping down of the body. The muscles might even get soft as though they just kind of hang from the bone. And then either a happy baby, or if you want another inversion, you can take an inversion. I wouldn't do shoulder stand. But if you want headstand, you can take a headstand. Happy baby is awesome because it's like it's both an inversion and a hip opener, so it's really nice.
take the arms up overhead and interlace the fingers, and then flip the palms away from you. Stretch the palms to the back of the room, stretch your feet to the front of the room, get as long as you can. Like you can take every single fiber in your body and stretch it out. And just breathe and stretch, like you could release every last holding. And then arms down alongside you, and we'll take Shavasana. So I'll take a brief Shavasana, so there's the space for that, and the next video doesn't just start on you. But by all means, pause here and let yourself have a full Shavasana. I would recommend doing a minimum of 3 minutes in Shavasana. You've done so much work, you want it to soak in, right? You want it to land in the body. Don't rush this. This is the most important part. So pause me if you like. We'll take otherwise a brief Shavasana. Lay back and just rest back into that simple awareness. And then start to deepen your breath. And make your way slowly with your eyes closed onto your side. So there's this feeling like we're just waking up again for the first time. Curl up. And then bring yourself up to seated with your eyes closed. So you get this moment of being able to end your practice similar to how we started, and maybe in that seeing what has shifted, being able to really kind of land in the experience of what's changed since we were first here seated together on our mats in the beginning of this practice together. We'll take a big breath in, open your mouth, clear everything out. Thumbs to your forehead. As a thank you to yourself, because that's important, and to each other. As we bow, we say namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much.